Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. We're Jenny and Logan of the Two Traveling Kings.
If you're new here, we're Jenny and Logan. We're a couple of American millennials with a passion for travel. We spent 2 months traveling to 9 different countries on our way to live in Australia for a year. We got to live and work in Sydney for a few months and really loved it. But then, COVID turned our world upside down. We had to cut our year in Australia short and head back to the US, and we really don't know when we'll be able to travel again.
In today's video, we wanted to share with you our American Thanksgiving experience.
The inspiration for today's Thanksgiving video comes from one of our subscribers, Steve Cheats. So thanks so much, Steve, for the recommendation. We do read every single comment, the good, the bad,
ugly,
Interesting, yes. But we love it. It's created a cool community on YouTube. So if you have not subscribed yet, please be sure to click the subscribe button so you can always stay up to date on our next videos, and it really helps out our channel. So thank you.
A lot of our viewers have been based in Australia recently, and yes, we know who you are. And we've had a lot of fun trying different Aussie snacks, attempting Australian slang, and even going out here in the US looking for a good flat white.
So a lot of our recent videos have been the two of us talking about things that we've experienced in Australia from the American perspective, but today we're going to flip it around a little bit and tell you a little bit about what Thanksgiving is, what our experience was growing up with Thanksgiving, and just give you a little bit more info because we got a lot of questions about it.
So, what is Thanksgiving and why do we celebrate? Many Americans don't know, but that's okay. It's mainly just a day to celebrate the year's harvest and give thanks for the many blessings that we have. And from a historical standpoint, we were taught that it originated when the Pilgrims shared a meal with the Native Americans back in the 1600s. What I do remember is back in kindergarten, the different classes would have Thanksgiving in the class. So half of the students would dress up as Native Americans and half of the class would dress up as Pilgrims. We'd have little construction paper hats and shirts and little pumpkin pies from school lunch. So it was very fun, and that's as much as my knowledge of Thanksgiving goes.
Yeah, but in the year of 2020, I don't know if that happens in schools anymore. I would imagine for a variety of reasons, it does not. But if we're completely honest, it's really, in this day and age, become more about getting together to eat a lot of food and spend time with family, and just kind of a point in the year to kick off the holiday season and try to be thankful for everything you have.
And have very awkward conversations about family, life, politics, sports, all that fun stuff that the holidays bring. My memories of Thanksgiving go back to Thanksgiving days at my Aunt Cindy's house. It was always fun seeing family, cousins. We'd play a lot of video games that I didn't have at my house. And the Cowboys, American football team, always plays on Thanksgiving.
For me, Thanksgiving pretty much meant food and football. So we would swap every other year and do Thanksgiving with my mom's side of the family one year and then my dad's side of the family, meaning grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. And then we'd play touch football if the weather was nice enough. We'd eat food and then we'd watch football because there's always American football on Thanksgiving Day. And then you pretty much just sit around with a full belly and can't really do much after that. Thanksgiving also to me always, like I said before, kicked off Christmas. The day after Thanksgiving, we would turn on Christmas music in the house and go on a decorating spree, and it was really fun.
So as we said, Thanksgiving is a lot of family and a lot of food.
Mostly food.
So here's a list of what I can remember of things that we'd usually have at Thanksgiving. Usually turkey, huge bird that you'd cook. I think my dad cooked a 25-pounder this year. Sometimes you'd have ham for people who didn't want turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, macaroni and cheese, sweet potato casserole.
Green bean casserole.
We usually just had plain green beans.
Not in my house.
Corn, stuffing, I don't know if I said stuffing.
Cranberry sauce. And then you have dessert. So after you eat all that food, then you have all the pies. So the pumpkin pie, the pecan pie. The Thanksgiving leftovers are the low-key unsung hero. And that's the food. Which is the main focus of all of it.
So as we said, lots of food, lots of pies. My favorite thing is usually the pies because I have a sweet tooth. So when we were in Sydney, Australia last year in 2019, we tried to bring a little Thanksgiving to Sydney. But unfortunately, the local Woolies didn't really have all the ingredients that we're used to. You know, the common American staples, pumpkin in a can, milk in a can, cream in a can. So we had to get
really
creative.
Fresh ingredients.
Jenny found a very good pumpkin pie recipe.
That recipe was really easy and it was definitely manageable. It took way more work to make it in Australia than it would here, but it was really good. So I'll make sure to link that recipe down in the description if you feel like giving it a go.
So we bought the pumpkin cubes, boiled it down, used a food processor to mix it up.
You say we.
Jenny did all of this, and we have video to show. I helped with the crust, because Jenny struggles with crust. We bought like short crust pastry in big squares and had to like Frankenstein it together to make a circle. But it worked. Came out with a big dent in the middle of it for some reason. But the Australians loved it. You know, pumpkin pie isn't a normal thing over there, I don't think, but it was really good, especially with a nice cup of coffee.
I think I actually ended up making 3 different pumpkin pies over the course of our time in Australia, which is 3 more than I usually make every year. So this year for Thanksgiving back in the US, I let Logan take back over the baking reins.
A lot more simple over here. You really only need these ingredients, and you can try and make pumpkin pie this way as well, but good luck finding the ingredients in a can.
I don't think they exist. But let us know if they do.
15 ounces of pure pumpkin, 12 fluid ounces of evaporated milk, and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 large eggs, and 1 unbaked pie crust, and some hundreds and thousands, wrong video. So to get things started, we'll start combining our dry ingredients, which includes our sugar and spices. We'll then beat our eggs and add the pumpkin. Pretty, isn't it? Then pour in the sugar mixture, mix that up, and then add our evaporated milk. Then it's time to roll out the pie crust and then slowly add the filling. Then pop it in the oven. Let it cool and enjoy with whipped cream.
So that's our video on Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something. Thanksgiving looks a lot different this year during COVID, but that said, we still have a lot to be thankful for. And truthfully, that's the whole point of the holiday anyway. Good food and being grateful for what you've got.
Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for the next video in a couple weeks.
We'll see you next time.